All right, so get this. We're diving deep today into AI that can paint pictures and compose music just from a few lines of text.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking Ideogram.ai, where you type in a description and out pops a unique image.
Right.
And then there's reshaping.com doing the same, but for music.
It's incredible stuff.
It really is mind-blowing, but it makes you wonder, right? Is AI truly creative, or is it just really good at mimicking what we already do?
Well, I think what's so fascinating is that these platforms are really kind of redefining what we even think of as creative. They're not just tools, they're almost like collaborators in a way.
Yeah.
And they churn out these results that can surprise even really seasoned artists.
It's true. I read about this designer who used Ideogram.ai to create a logo for a new tech startup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he typed in a prompt all about innovation and connection.
Okay.
And the AI generated hundreds of options, some of them totally unexpected.
It's amazing, isn't it, how AI can think up stuff that a human might never even consider.
Right.
It's like it doesn't have the same mental blocks that we do.
Yeah, totally. But how does it actually work?
Yeah.
I mean, I get the whole text prompt thing.
Sure.
But what's going on behind the scenes?
Well, it all starts with these things called generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short.
GANs.
Yeah. Imagine two AIs, one's an artist, the other's an art critic.
Okay.
The artist AI creates images based on the prompt, and the critic AI judges them.
I see.
And they basically go back and forth learning from each other until those images are just right.
So it's like a constant feedback loop pushing the AI to improve.
Exactly. And the data these GANs learn from is massive. We're talking millions of images, all tagged and categorized.
Wow.
That's how the AI learns to connect words and phrases with what they look like.
So it's analyzing a prompt, like let's say a cat riding a unicorn through a rainbow galaxy.
Right.
And it's actually understanding what all of that means visually.
Exactly. It's not just understanding each word on its own.
Right.
It's understanding how those words relate to each other, the context, the overall big picture. This is where prompt engineering comes in. It's all about crafting really precise prompts to get specific results from the AI.
So the more specific you are with your prompt, the better the result.
Absolutely. Think of it like giving someone directions.
Okay.
If you tell someone to go to the store, they'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But if you say, go 2 blocks north, then turn left at the bakery with the red awning, they'll get to the exact spot you want.
That makes sense.
It's the same with AI image generation. The better the prompt, the more impressive the image.
So that brings up a really interesting point. Is the person writing the prompt the real creator, or is it the AI?
That's a tough one.
It's like they're collaborating, right?
It is a blurry line. Some say the human is like the director guiding the AI's process, while others think the AI is just a tool like a paintbrush.
I see what you mean.
It's a good question to ponder.
And what about this whole thing with AI lending styles? I read about an artist who made a portrait in the style of Picasso, but with elements of Japanese woodblock printing.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Yeah, that's another layer to this whole thing, isn't it? AI can analyze and mix different artistic styles,
Right.
creating these hybrids that really push the boundaries of what we consider art.
So is this the future of art? Will we all be using AI as our assistant,
That's a good question.
typing in prompts and curating what it creates?
It's a real possibility, and it makes
Yeah.
you wonder about the role of the artist in a world where AI can seemingly create anything.
Yeah, and what about all the people who work in those creative fields?
Like graphic designers and photographers.
Yeah, are they going to be replaced by AI?
That's the million-dollar question. A lot of people are worried about it.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer.
Right.
Some say AI will definitely lead to job losses, while others see it as a tool that can actually help boost human creativity.
Yeah, I could see both sides. I mean, if AI can whip up a logo in seconds,
Right.
what happens to the human designer who used to spend days on that?
It's a valid concern, but on the other hand, AI could free up those creative people from tedious tasks. They could focus on the bigger picture stuff, you know.
So maybe instead of being afraid of AI, we should see it as a way to evolve our own skills.
I think so. Yeah, learn to work with it, not against it.
Exactly. And speaking of creative disruption, the music world is having its own AI revolution.
It is.
Platforms like Refusion.com are changing the game. It's wild to think you could type something like upbeat jazz with a hint of melancholy and get a custom track.
It is amazing. Refusion.com and other AI music generators are trained on these huge libraries of music.
Yeah.
They learn everything from melody and harmony to rhythm and what instruments to use.
So it's like having an AI composer who can tap into any genre or mood.
Pretty much. But how does it go beyond just copying existing music? Can it really create something new?
That is the question.
Some experts say AI music is just a mashup of existing styles, while others think it can create something truly original and groundbreaking.
I guess it depends how you define originality.
That's true.
If AI is drawing on all this musical knowledge, is it really creating something new? Or is it just recombining things in a clever way?
It's a debate that's likely to continue as the technology gets even better.
Probably.
But one thing's for sure, AI is changing how music is made and how we listen to it.
For sure. And it's not just professional musicians either.
Right.
These platforms are making it possible for anyone to create music.
Exactly. It's democratizing music creation like we've never seen before.
Imagine a world where anyone can express their musical ideas, even if they don't play an instrument.
That's the beauty of it. It's breaking down barriers.
I wonder what kind of impact this will have on the future of music.
Who knows?
Will we see completely new genres created by algorithms?
It's possible maybe AI will come up with sounds and combinations that humans never thought of.
It's exciting and a little scary at the same time.
I agree.
I think that's what's so cool about this whole AI revolution.
Yeah.
It's making us rethink what's possible and embrace the unknown.
Absolutely. And as we keep going deeper into this world of AI-powered creativity, we need to keep having these conversations, exploring the ethical implications, and making sure we're using this technology for good.
And that's exactly what we're doing here on The Deep Dive.
We are diving deep into the world of AI and creativity, looking at the possibilities, the challenges, and what it all means for the future of art and music.
That's right. You know, we've been talking a lot about the tech behind all this.
Yeah.
But what I'm really curious about is how actual artists, musicians, right, real creators, are using these AI tools in their work. Are they excited about it or are they kind of freaked out?
It's a great question. And from what I've seen, there's a whole range of reactions, everything from people jumping in with both feet to those who are a little more hesitant.
I can imagine some artists feeling like their territory is being threatened.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's my job.
Oh, definitely. There's some fear there, especially about AI potentially replacing human jobs.
Right.
But more and more people are starting to see that AI can also be a powerful tool for collaboration and even for sparking new ideas.
I've heard of musicians using AI to help them get unstuck creatively.
Oh, yeah.
Like they give the AI a melody or something, and it spits out all these variations or suggests new chord progressions.
Exactly. It's like having a brainstorming partner who never gets tired.
That's cool.
And for visual artists, AI can help generate textures, patterns, even whole scenes.
Wow.
That they can then incorporate into their own work.
So it really is becoming like a co-creator.
Yeah, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
But then how do we deal with the ethical side of things?
Right.
Like who owns the copyright to an AI-generated song or image?
That's a big one, and the legal side is still catching up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of debate about whether AI can even be considered an author in the traditional sense. Some people think the copyright should belong to whoever wrote the prompt.
Okay.
While others say it belongs to the people who created the AI.
It's tricky, isn't it?
It is. We might need a whole new legal framework to deal with AI-generated content.
Right, something that recognizes this new kind of collaboration.
Exactly, and it's not just about copyright either. We need to think about things like bias and representation. If those AI models are trained on data that reflects existing biases, then those biases are going to show up in the output.
So, for example, if an AI image generator is mostly trained on pictures of white men, it might have trouble creating realistic images of women or people of color.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to make sure the data used to train these AI models is diverse.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're just perpetuating the problem.
Exactly. We could end up making things even worse.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It is, but there's also a lot of potential for good.
True.
I mean, think about how AI could democratize creativity.
Yeah.
The idea that anyone with an internet connection can now create music, art, even write stories.
It's pretty amazing.
It really is. It's breaking down barriers that used to keep people out of those creative fields.
Imagine a kid who lives somewhere without access to music lessons or instruments.
Right.
But now with AI, they can make music and share it with the world.
It's a game changer, and we're only just beginning to see what's possible.
Yeah, as the technology keeps developing, we're going to have even more sophisticated tools that make it easier for people to express themselves creatively.
Absolutely. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens next.
It makes you wonder what art and music will be like in the future.
I know.
Will we even recognize it as art?
Right.
Will we have whole new genres and forms of expression that we can't even imagine right now?
It's mind-blowing to think about.
It really is.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the economic side of all this.
Okay.
Some people are saying that AI is going to completely disrupt creative industries.
Yeah.
Like AI is going to take over all the jobs and leave human creators out in the cold.
There's a lot of worry about that.
For sure.
And it's understandable, but I think it's important to remember that technology has always disrupted creative industries.
That's true.
Think about the printing press, photography, the internet.
Right.
All of those things led to fears about job losses.
Yeah.
But they also created new opportunities. And ultimately, they expanded the creative landscape.
So you're saying that history shows us that even though there might be some bumps in the road,
Yeah.
these technologies end up leading to new forms of creativity and new jobs.
Exactly. Jobs that we can't even imagine yet.
Like what?
Well, look at social media, for example.
Okay.
It created this whole new industry of content creators, influencers, digital marketers,
Right.
jobs that didn't exist a few decades ago.
So maybe instead of worrying about the robot takeover, we should be focusing on how we can adapt and learn new skills.
Absolutely. The key is to be a lifelong learner. Stay curious and be willing to try new things.
That's good advice for anyone, really.
It is.
But for artists and musicians specifically, what are some of the skills that will be most valuable in this new world?
Well, I think creativity itself will be more important than ever. AI can generate ideas, but it can't replicate that human spark of inspiration.
Right.
That ability to connect with an audience on an emotional level.
So human artists will need to focus on what makes them unique.
Yeah, their emotions, their experiences, their perspectives.
Like AI is forcing us to be more human.
In a way, yeah. And along with creativity, I think skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and collaboration will be essential. We need to learn how to work alongside AI.
Yeah.
Understand its strengths and weaknesses, and use it to make our own creative process better.
It's like AI is becoming this new kind of collaborator, one that pushes us to explore new frontiers.
Exactly, but it's also a tool that needs to be used carefully and ethically.
For sure.
We need to be aware of the potential biases and risks.
Right.
And we need to develop rules and guidelines to make sure it's used responsibly.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but it's an important conversation to have.
Yeah, the future of creativity is being shaped right now.
Yeah.
And we all have a role to play in making sure it's a future we can be proud of.
Well said. And as we continue to explore this whole landscape, I think it's important to remember that the relationship between humans and AI is still evolving. We're kind of making it up as we go along.
Right.
And the ending is still unwritten.
It's really interesting to think about all the big ideas we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about what's happening like right now. You know?
Right.
What are some real examples of how people are using AI in creative fields today?
Well, one area where we're seeing a lot of action is graphic design. Companies are using AI to create marketing materials, website layouts, even product designs.
Wow.
Like imagine you're a small business owner.
Okay.
You don't have the money to hire a big fancy design firm.
Right.
But with AI, you can use those same sophisticated tools.
It was kind of leveling the playing field.
Exactly. It's giving smaller companies access to things they couldn't afford before.
That's cool. And it's not just about making design more accessible.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, AI is also being used to personalize design.
What do you mean?
Like tailoring it to specific people and their preferences. Think about targeted advertising.
Okay.
AI can analyze your online behavior and create ads that are designed to appeal to you specifically.
I got to say, that kind of creeps me out a little.
I get it. It's definitely important to be aware of how AI could be used in ways that aren't so great.
Right.
But personalized design can also be used to create better, more engaging experiences.
Like how?
Well, think about those personalized learning platforms.
Okay.
They adapt to your learning style and how fast you learn.
That makes sense. So it can be used in both good and bad ways.
Exactly. It's all about how we use it.
What about photography? How is AI impacting that field?
Oh, it's huge there, too. AI can enhance images, remove unwanted objects, even create realistic photos from scratch.
Wow, really?
Yep. There are even AI-powered cameras that can adjust the settings and compose shots automatically.
So photographers are basically becoming directors.
Kinda, yeah. They're guiding the AI.
But what about the artistry, the human element, you know? Can AI really replicate the eye of a skilled photographer?
That's a tough one. AI can create some technically impressive images.
Yeah.
But do they have the same soul, the same emotional depth as a photo taken by a human?
Right. It's like the difference between something that's just technically good
Right.
and something that actually moves you.
Exactly. And I think that distinction is going to become even more important as AI-generated content becomes more common.
So how will we even know the difference?
Right. Like, how can we tell if something was made by a human or by an algorithm?
Yeah. Will there be some kind of label?
That's a big debate right now. Some people say everything made by AI should be clearly labeled.
Okay.
Others think that would stifle creativity and create unnecessary fear.
I see both sides. I mean, consumers should know where something came from.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to see AI creativity get shut down because people are scared.
It's a tough situation for sure.
It is. So what about the future?
The future of AI and creativity.
Yeah. What were some of the things you're most excited about?
Well, one area that I find really fascinating is the combination of AI and virtual reality.
Oh, wow.
Imagine these immersive virtual worlds where you can interact with AI-generated characters and environments.
That sounds like science fiction.
I know, it's crazy, right? But it's closer than you think.
Really?
We're already seeing the early versions of this with virtual concerts and art exhibits.
So in the future, we might be going to concerts in the metaverse
Uh-huh.
with AI musicians performing for AI fans.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just the beginning.
What else?
Imagine AI tools that help us overcome creative blocks or come up with new ideas or systems that personalize our creative experiences based on what we like.
That's amazing.
It really is. It's like AI is becoming this creative partner, a muse almost.
But couldn't that lead to everything looking and sounding the same?
You mean if everyone is relying on AI?
Yeah, like wouldn't it homogenize creativity?
That's a valid concern. We definitely don't want to become too dependent on AI. But I also think AI can push us to be more creative by inspiring us to explore new forms of art and expression that we haven't even thought of yet.
So it's both a risk and an opportunity.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool, but we have to use it wisely.
We do, and that's why these conversations are so important.
Yeah, we need to talk about the ethical implications and make sure we're using this technology for good.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into AI and creativity.
It does.
It's been an amazing journey.
It has, full of big ideas and exciting possibilities.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope this deep dive has left you feeling inspired and curious, and maybe even a little bit unsettled.
Yeah.
Because the future of creativity is happening right now.
It is.
And we're all a part of it.